that I'm free from all the chains you've kept me in. I'll be okay.
Good morning, everyone. Today we are leaving St. Carlos de la Repita. Very big liveaboard community there, all British expats. Very, very nice marina with finger pontoons, which is always very exciting for us these days. We stayed there for a few days and now it's time to move on, and we are going to Tarragona, which is about 55 miles away, I think. We are motoring at the moment, as you can probably hear. That will change a little bit later today, so we will be able to get the sails up and hopefully get some nice sailing done and test out our new sails again. That'll be nice. Quite excited about that. And then Tarragona. What we've found so far in the Med is that the winds tend to be really light in the morning before picking up in the afternoon. So this means that typically our morning sail is more of a motor sail, but very, very pleasant indeed. And then in the afternoon we get to have a little bit of fun. Relatively painless mooring here in Tarragona, all tied up, stern 2 Med style, and I think tonight we might go in and enjoy ourselves a little beer. Our arrival in Tarragona coincided with the Easter long weekend, and since Spain is not only a Catholic country but also one that needs very little excuse to throw a party, it's no surprise that the entire week of Easter was full of processions and festivities. It made for a wonderful atmosphere in which to kick back and enjoy some tapas and a drink.
Well, this is very pleasant, isn't it? It's the evening Good Friday Easter parade in Tarragona. Hello.
Today is a cultural day.
It is a cultural day. We're having a day in Tarragona.
Yes.
It's such a beautiful horizon.
Is that a song? Tarragona's little tagline for their tourist board is
It's wicked.
living history, and it's a very historical town. We're going to take you on a little tour of the important historical sites of Tarragona, and if that doesn't sound like your cup of tea, then I urge you to continue watching because I actually think it'll be really interesting.
You'll learn something today.
Yeah, you will, and it'll be
Even
more.
if you didn't think you
and it'll be
learned
more interesting than your history lessons at school. At least
I'm doing them.
At least I hope so.
Just spinning Jenny. Goodbye. This is the Circa Roma, also known as the Circus. Not Zippo's Circus, but the circus where people would go to watch things.
So what do we got here, Nick?
This is a Roman circus, and we had to Google it a little bit. Anyway, this is part of a circus. A Roman circus was actually a chariot racing thing, so essentially a horse stadium, and they used to do chariot races here, so you can just see the outline of some of the seating, but the thing would have been extensive and probably gone on for, I don't know, a couple of 100 metres that way. And apparently this is the best preserved Roman circus in the entire Western world. So considering it's, according to that mural over there, it's 1900 years old, it's doing pretty good. We'll continue looking around, but it's pretty impressive. It's also surrounded by a lot of kind of medieval buildings, because between about 1200 and 1700, the occupying forces here built on Roman remains and used a lot of Roman buildings as the basis for kind of building their forts. Normally because, you know, the Romans built in the best areas. They built, you know, for strategic purposes, either for height to look out or to protect shipping through having these forts. So this is a medieval fort that they just built here as well. There you go, here ended the lesson for a bit.
Well done, you're very good actually.
Look at this, it says spectacles lasted all day. This is about the chariot races. Entrance was free and the event was paid for by the rich.
This is so impressive. This is the problem, that when I was learning history at school, I was in some school classroom in Australia, and just, it was so boring to me. And yet here, you can just like walk around these Roman and medieval. I mean, it's just insane. Like this, look at this corridor, this vault. It's amazing. Ah, okay. There's a little information movie thing. So this is. Oh, this was where the circus was.
It went literally
Oh, wow. So that's the cathedral. So that wasn't here, obviously, during Roman times. Okay, so that was the Roman wall. That's still there. Yeah, that was a forum. I hope you guys are finding all this interesting. Maybe it's not as interesting unless you're like literally standing here and you're able to kind of sit at a bar and look around and say, wow, 2,000 years ago this looked like this. But I just find all this fascinating.
I think this is the side wall.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah, so this is the view that we'd have had from here, I'm assuming.
Yeah. And this corridor is where like all the crowds would have gone.
Yeah.
The spectators, they would have.
Where the hot dog stand is at Adelaide Oval.
So we must be around here somewhere.
We're here.
Okay, yeah. After exploring the circus, where the chariot races took place, we went to check out the equally impressive amphitheater. This was home to a different form of entertainment, the infamous gladiator fights. Gladiators were slaves, prisoners of war, or criminals who were trained in special gladiator schools. They would fight other criminals as well as wild animals to cheering spectators.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what? As I said, or as I think you've already said, if history had been taught like this when we were kids, rather than like all the kings and queens of bloody England, there'd be more.
So where are we now?
We're in where the circus was. So this is actually where they would race chariots.
Yeah.
2,000 years ago, they raced chariots here. It's just incredible. As I said, this is one of these places. I suppose we turn up slightly ignorant that we don't really know what's going on. We don't read up on places before we get there, but it is always such an amazing surprise to see what a locality in a town like this has, a city like this has.
Yeah. We have seen quite a few Roman sites already, and we have a multi-pass, and included in the multi-pass is this like walk around the Roman walls, the ancient Roman walls.
Who's that Roman? These are medieval.
They are Roman.
Are they?
Yeah. So we are going to discover that the walls were part of the Roman fortified walls, and then they were built upon in subsequent centuries by the medieval occupants of this town.
City. According to this, that this was the first Iberian settlement conquered by the Romans, which is why it's so big.
Ah, okay. So this is the first place they came in.
So 218 BC. So they turned up here, 218 BC, fought a war for 12 years against the Carthaginians. I think they had elephants. Because Carthage was in North Africa, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Just thinking about this from Gladiator. So this was their first outpost, and then they kind of built a wooden one. And then 18 years later, they built like a stone one. And it says the new wall was 6 meters high, 4 meters thick, and built of large stones. It was reinforced by towers and a second body of ashlars. We call this the first phase of the Tarragona wall. So, and you can actually see the demarcation of the wall. So you can see the pigeons.
Yeah.
There's two pigeons. Where the yellow bricks are.
Yeah.
So this is the first wall that they built 2,200 years ago.
Huh. Oh, he's friendly. Maybe he wants to come back to the boat with us. He does, look at him. Hi. Hello. Aww. Maybe I think that he thinks I'm its mummy.
Looks after him every day. He looks like a well-fed Jim Chat.
Very friendly.
No, it's a boy.